The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of either Spectrum Generations or Time Warner Cable. Mature Lifestyle is made possible by Hollywood Casino. There's no place like Hollywood. And by Knowlton Hewins Roberts Funeral Homes and Cremation Service. Our homes are warm and welcoming, and we take care of you and your family like we would our own. Call us anytime. We are here for you.
Hello, welcome to Mature Lifestyle. Spectrum Generations is so pleased to bring this show to you today because we are truly going to live and laugh a bit, I hope, on the show, as well as learn a lot. Two extraordinary guests. So pleased to welcome Dr. Chip Teel. Your name is Allan. You can tell us how you got the name Chip later if you would. He is a doctor who has done some extraordinary things as well as doctoring, and I want to hear about that as will our audience. And then Amy Gardner, just learned that she not only is an extraordinary caregiver and an advocate for her mom, but she's a music teacher. And so she has a very rich and beautiful life as well. But we're here today to talk a little bit about something that you've learned as you practice medicine. Sitting here as your host, who has the past 70, we're talking about a gray tsunami, and that Maine being one of the oldest states in the nation. So I guess we're doing something right in terms of living a long time, but that brings challenges as well. And your specialty, I believe, is dealing with elder care. And talk to us a little bit about what you've seen in that area and why you wanted to write a book about it and create a special program.
Sure. Well, I'm a family doctor from Damariscotta, and I've been practicing in that small town for 25 years.
And I might say you're a very lucky man. That is a beautiful place.
I sure am. Very lucky to be there. And so as a family doctor, we were trained and specialized in the whole family. As I moved to an area which is the oldest county per capita, in the oldest state per capita.
Is that right? Your county is as well. I didn't realize that.
So it behooved us to get very good at getting to know and helping older individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Early in my practice there, I had many older individuals wag their finger in my face and say, "Don't you ever think of putting me in an institution."
I can hear my mother saying that.
So from the early days in practice, it was important to try to address what they were facing.
Mm-hmm.
And as you watched proud individuals struggle to live independently and families living at a distance, it really became clear that we needed to do something different, that the options choice was not there. We have wonderful nursing homes and assisted living homes with very dedicated staff, but most individuals don't want to live there if there can be another choice. So 95% of all surveys of older individuals say they want to stay in their own homes.
And as a family practitioner, you were used to dealing with the whole family, the whole person, and watched this transformation, right?
Absolutely, and you know, the challenges are that there are some very close-knit nuclear families that live in the same town, but for the most of us, our extended families are scattered.
And you know, in this very complicated age of medicine, I want to salute you really as a family practitioner, because you see the whole person and the whole family. You're not just working on someone's kidneys or heart or whatever. You're looking at the whole thing. And this is something that jumped out at you as a need.
Central to all of this, and in stark contrast to what's going on right now, is that what most older individuals need is not medical. You know, so even though I am in the middle of the medical crises and the healthcare crises that are going on, you know, I think it is important that we look at this and the solutions that are needed as being primarily non-medical. What people really aspire to, in addition to staying in their own home, is to stay connected.
To stay connected. What a wonderful overview, and I can see that you have benefited from that approach, Amy.
Absolutely.
Tell me about your situation and your mom and the staying in the home issue. How has that played out in your family?
Well, we've been using Full Circle America.
Okay, and we're going to have to let's stop right there. What is Full Circle America? You can both take a crack at that.
The name really says it all, but
it does, doesn't it?
When I think about Full Circle America, I think about it being an agency that, of course, allows my mother to stay at home and she's safe, and that, of course, is a primary concern. But as Dr. Teel said, there's so much more to caring for a person than keeping them safe or attending to their medical needs or their nutritional needs. It's dealing with a whole person.
Exactly.
And Full Circle America approaches my mother specifically in a loving way, like a family, like it used to be. I've said this before to my friends. It used to be, before our lives became as mobile as they are, and extended families living all over the world, we were able to take care of our aging parents, and because our lives don't really allow that anymore, Full Circle America keeps us connected.
Okay, I'm going to come right back to you. Did you create Full Circle America? All right.
I did.
So I'm going to come back to you then, talk a little bit more about that, but I want to talk about your mom as well. So what made you create it, and what does it do?
Well, as Amy alludes to, it is about finding a comprehensive solution.
Okay.
And it's whatever you need, whenever you need it.
Okay.
And so trying to define what it is in a few words.
You can have all the time you need. We want to know about it.
The situation for most older individuals changes often, and it changes unexpectedly. And one of the real challenges in healthcare has been when I was discharging folks from the hospital or from the skilled rehab facility to go home, you would appropriately be asked, well, how much support does somebody need? And you look at the last week or two and you say, well, gee, one night it was 2 in the morning, the next day it was 4 in the afternoon, and then there were 3 or 4 days when everything went really smoothly. Right. So how do you staff around that? How do you supervise that? How do you provide the support for that? And historically, all we could do is say, well, it's so unpredictable, we need to provide 24/7 personal care, which became extraordinarily expensive and required that it be institutionalized in a lot of ways.
Which is not what you were
which
trying
is not
to
what you're
accomplish
trying
at
to do.
all.
And fortunately, technology has given us some tools that we can start to use to do that. And so the creation that we put together was to connect a variety of simple tools that are out there right now with a circle of caring, so that you could leverage the efforts of Amy and her extended family and a few caregivers and a few volunteers, so that that loved one, that individual, has 24/7 support, but it's not very intrusive.
Not the institution either, it's the home.
Right.
So we have a little bit, it's going to come clearer to us, I think, as we talk about it. So tell us how your mom and you use this Full Circle. I love the title too.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
How has it benefited your mom? How does it work for her?
Well, my mom moved close to us
Yes.
2 years ago. She'd been living on her own for quite some time, and it became apparent to us as a family that she needed to live closer to one of her children.
Okay.
So we tried it on our own for a year, being the caregivers,
So
my
she was
husband and I.
close,
She was
but
very
yet
close.
You were.
And it went okay. And then realized that we needed more support. This wasn't quite enough. We were not able to handle it on our own. And lucky enough to hear about Dr. Teel and Full Circle America. And my mom kept on saying she did not want to go to a nursing home. she did not want to go into assisted living. She wanted to stay in her home. My mother was a stay-at-home mom.
Yes.
And a wonderful craftswoman. And her home is filled with things that she has made, things that she's collected over the years that she holds very near and dear to her heart.
Which is important to the whole process, as you've talked about.
Yes.
We are people, full people, not
Yes.
just old people.
Her pictures, her memories,
Yes.
all there.
So you found Full Circle, and what did you do with them?
Well, went through a long interview process
Okay.
with them.
And the purpose of that is so that they'll know what your mom needs.
Exactly, and so
What you need.
and what I need, and also I wanted to make sure that I was finding an agency that I could trust.
I was going to say, it's a huge trust
Yes,
issue.
it's
This
a huge
decision
trust
that Amy is
issue.
talking about is incredibly difficult for families.
Right, because you wanted to do it yourself, and you feel that you need some help, but who do you trust, mom with or dad?
And the only way anyone can make such a decision is with the help of their trusted advisors. And usually it
It's a
is one of
family
the adult
doctor often,
daughters.
yes.
It's sometimes a family doctor. It's sometimes your elder law attorney or your financial planner.
Right. But
you're-
Full Circle America has become part of our
Part
family.
of your family, all right? And
Very
so
much.
you had your interview, and you
Yes.
decided it was the right fit for your
Absolutely.
mom. And so they accepted you as well. They thought they were the right fit. I assume you have to make decisions about what you can provide.
Yes, but I think Amy is leading into something that we've coined the phrase or borrowed the phrase called dignity of risk.
Okay.
Yes.
Dignity of risk, okay?
And that is a
I
phrase.
really like that.
That is a phrase that was used often in the mid-1980s when the mental health community was deinstitutionalizing folks with various mental and physical difficulties back into the community. And the advocates for them living in communities said that, I'm paraphrasing, that in order for people to live full lives in community, they had to have the opportunity to succeed or fail. And you, as a caregiver, had to give them the opportunity to grow from those experiences.
Hence the dignity
The
of
dignity
that,
part
and
of it.
respect.
But we're very focused right now, not on the dignity side of that phrase, but on the risk side
On
of
the
it.
risk side,
You know?
yes.
And so Amy's on the hot seat, as many adult children are, with their own families, with their community, with their colleagues, as to what is the right thing to do for mom.
Yes.
You know, how do I discharge my responsibility to be a good
And to know that she's safe and
child,
she's
and
getting what she needs.
that's right.
And it's a huge responsibility.
Safe and
isn't it?
happy.
And she is.
Yes,
It's
she
working
is.
for her and for you.
The safety piece, the technology helps us with the safety piece.
Yes.
Because she's monitored. We can Skype with her, which is awesome. I Skyped
Yes.
with Mom last night.
And Skype means you can see her while you're talking on the
Yes.
phone.
Well, yes, I just
Yes.
Skype on my computer, and
Yes.
it was 8:30 last night, and I just
How
wanted
far
to
away
check
do you
in.
live from your
4
home?
minutes.
4 minutes.
But it can feel
nevertheless,
like 4 hours.
Of course. I mean, had she had a
Yes.
fall or anything at home?
Exactly.
Don't go away. This is extraordinarily important. When we come back, we're going to talk about a book that Dr. Teel has written, Alone and Invisible No More. What an exciting promise. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Mature Lifestyle.
This is the new Hollywood. Hollywood Casino, featuring the heart-pounding action of live table games with Vegas-style blackjack, roulette, poker, and more. Now playing at the place where the fun never stops. From the thrill seekers to the blockbuster winners, here you've got the lead role, because there's no place like Hollywood.
Spectrum Generations. Live healthy, live well. Get answers, get connected. Spectrum Generations, specializing in the art of aging.
Life should be celebrated, It's a special day when family and friends gather together to celebrate the life of a loved one. A celebration of life helps us honor our loved one and keep our memories alive. Whether you're planning a traditional funeral, a creative celebration of life, or a blend of both, at Knowlton Hewins Roberts, we are truly committed to meet the personal and unique needs of you and your family. Knowlton Hewins Roberts. Visit us online or visit our 2 locations in Augusta and Winthrop.
Welcome back to Mature Lifestyles. We're learning about choices and options for seniors and for the caregivers of those seniors. We have a wonderful guest, Dr. Teel, who is a family practitioner, but also, I think, a visionary in terms of creating options for us. And then Amy Gardner, who has dealt with her own mom, her own family, and can share the passion that she has for a program that works very, very well. But also, we have an author here as well. The book, Alone and Invisible No More, is your handiwork. You just created it. You wrote it last year.
Right.
It speaks to this topic. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. We had been pioneering this program for 5 or 6 years.
And the program is Full Circle America.
And we have served up to 100 people between the ages of 80 and 105 years old.
Wow.
And kept them in their own homes for 4 to 5 years for 10% of the cost of residential care. So it addresses the humanity, addresses the cost, it addresses the demographics. And so after doing this, some colleagues, including my son, urged me to write about it. And so the reason to write about it was to get this word out.
Yes.
That this is a national crisis. And it is the cornerstone that can fundamentally change healthcare and rebuild communities. So, but the book is about anecdotes and some hope. It is about the fact that it doesn't have to be the way it is right now. We've shown that there are other choices that people can do right now.
You're empowering people, aren't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. Actually, the byline for Full Circle America is empowered aging.
Is it? Empowered aging.
Right.
Lovely topic.
So again, the technology are tools, but the tools and the technology are intimidating to a lot of people. So I think it is helpful to try.
Let's talk about those for a minute. But when I see technology, I think ka-ching, dollars. How does one afford to participate? If I'm the caregiver or if I'm the parent or the senior who needs to go have this facility, how does it work financially?
Sure, we've had to find very affordable and very easy to use pieces of technology.
Okay.
And so essentially all of the technology that we employ costs about the same as a low-priced television. And people buy a new television pretty frequently.
Okay.
And the monthly payments are anywhere from the cost of a cable bill to the cost of a car payment, depending upon how much.
So does Amy sign up as the caregiver with Full Circle America and pay a fee?
Yes.
Is that how it works?
That's right.
And is it covered by Medicare or any other program, or you're just on your own with this?
Pretty much this, right now we're still on our own. I think once we as families, and I'll speak to this as an adult child of an 85-year-old man who also needs these kinds of services. But I think there are a few individuals whose long-term care insurance policy will cover some of these services.
And it's evolving, is what you're saying, but it's also affordable.
It is affordable, and we have been able to, some of the packages that we have can be as low as $50 or $60 a month.
Right.
Some of them are $200 or $300 or $400 a month.
So price is not really prohibitive for most people,
No,
and you'll work with them, I'm sure, to make sure it works for them.
When people realize that the options are not paid for by anybody either.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
And you
Until assets
but you
are
can have
depleted.
that discussion with somebody. Well, I guess that's my other question. I want to participate. Do I talk to? I don't think I can talk to you because
Actually,
you're too busy.
Can.
Oh, I can. All right.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Very accessible.
Yeah.
It's very accessible.
And so you can get a hold of us by calling us on the telephone or sending us an email.
And then someone would walk you through cost, how it works.
Yes.
Got it.
And we're looking at what do you need. Our part of our interview process with Amy and her family is what are your goals?
Got it.
You know, so what are your personal goals for your mom? And as Amy said, it's about being happy.
Yes.
And it's about being safe.
And you craft a program to do that.
And then we say, so what are her particular needs?
Yes. And how does the technology play into that? You want to identify these? This
Sure.
looks like something from Star Wars.
Yes, this
I call it
little-
R2D2.
R2D2.
This little R2D2 is really the cornerstone of what we do. It is
Okay.
what's called a webcam.
Okay.
And it is a very high quality camera that is very cheap.
Right.
And it can be remotely controlled from anywhere on the planet if you have an
Wow.
internet connection.
Yes.
So it has.
So from your house, you can use this.
Yeah.
She can look at this from her house. She can look
or
at it from
traveling.
work. She can look at it
Yeah.
from her cell phone.
And sometimes if my mom's over, excuse me, at dinner time, and she's at our home having dinner, I'll
Yes.
say, Mom, let's check out your cat at home. Let's see if we can
Okay,
see
you can
your
even
cat.
check on the family
and
pets.
it also makes my mom feel more comfortable.
Right, that it's not some intrusion.
Exactly, and that, you know, she can see
Some
her
ownership.
home too. Yes, and we always try to laugh about
And
that.
usually when we show individuals how easy that is and how home-like that is.
So they're not turned
they're
off
not
by
turned
that.
off
Got
by
it.
You know, my mantra on this has been, look at the alternative. I feel that the biggest intrusion of your privacy is to have to move into a double room with a complete stranger and have a
With a
whole lot of
curtain
other
sometimes,
strangers
yes.
who enter whenever they want, and they run your life.
Right.
You know, so
And of
this-
course, Mom knows that the whole world doesn't have access to this, but her
She-
loved ones do.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but again, Amy has a busy life, as most families do, and so we need to provide service with this as well. And so we have to find capable, reliable individuals who will learn Amy's mom's patterns, and then we do what we call spot checks or check-ins 4 times a day, 7 days a week, so that no matter what
But Mom
Amy's...
knows that, so she
Yes.
doesn't feel that it's inappropriate
She's very much included
in the decision
in
making.
the decision making and
Very important.
and understanding what we're doing and why.
Okay.
This is a passive piece of equipment,
It just
meaning
sits there.
it just sits there, and her mom and Amy and nobody has to be computer
Before
literate.
we run out of time, you better tell me about these
Sure.
other extraordinary
and
things.
so the other part of it is that, again, this leads to other interactions.
Yes.
So if we see that Patty, her mom, is
Yes.
home, and for any reason, Amy says, gee, I would like to interact with her in some way,
Yes.
either to alleviate a particular issue, solve a particular problem, or just to touch base. Then you can call her on a Skype phone
and see her.
and see
Yeah,
her.
She can see you.
It's like having a conversation like
really
we're having
wonderful.
now, except
Yes.
it's like a television.
Okay, right.
I have a television, my mom
So it's
has
not
a television.
complicated. She can use it
No,
with
my
no
mom does a
problem.
great
Even
job
with
with it.
her memory issues that she is quite frustrated with, she can interact. This is a touch screen, so
Yes.
she
Very
can
simple
answer. It's
for
very
her to
simple.
It's
for her.
really easy to use.
Good, unlike some
Yes,
technology.
of course.
And then
What's
again,
this?
this is an emergency response button that we have morphed into a communication device. So if there's anything going on,
push the
she can just push the button, and this gets a live person from our office.
And she can talk.
And she can
not
talk to
just,
some.
Not just a signal, but she can
Right.
actually
This
say
is
what
actually,
happened.
you can wear it on your wrist, around your neck, on your
Does
belt.
your mom do that well?
Yes, she does. She does a
So-
really good job with that.
And so the speaker and the microphone are on the device, so it is quite easy for her to actually talk. And one of the other nifty features of it is that this is a remote telephone, so that when my phone rings, I can press this and it answers the telephone, and I'm talking to that person without struggling to get out of my chair or to race to the telephone or whatever
Right.
it would be to answer it. So, but the key thing, these technologies are tools, and the real important thing is people.
The human interaction, yes.
And one of the other cardinal things that we do revolves around volunteers, neighbors.
My mom has some great volunteers.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And I think they are the key to the success, because a couple
They
of
are.
times a week, these individuals.
I'm going to have to stop you for again. This is going so beautifully. We hate to stop, but please stay tuned. We'll be back for a brief close-up on this great program. Be right back.
Spectrum Generations. Live healthy. Live well. Get answers. Get connected. Spectrum Generations, specializing in the art of aging.
This is the new Hollywood. Hollywood Casino, featuring the heart-pounding action of live table games with Vegas-style blackjack, roulette, poker, and more. Now playing at the place where the fun never stops. From the thrill seekers to the blockbuster winners, here you've got the lead role, because there's no place like Hollywood.
Welcome back to Mature Lifestyle. So much to say in so little time, but I want to go right back to R2-D2. I don't want this thing in my bathroom. Is there an option here?
Or bedroom.
Or bedroom. I mean, I want my privacy.
Absolutely not.
Yes,
Don't want you spying on me.
Well, we've chosen to put cameras primarily in the common
Got
spaces
it.
of your house.
So what happens in the bathroom
So
when
in
you
the
could fall
bedroom or
down?
bathroom, we have a motion sensor.
Perfect.
So this just has the ability to let me know that's where you are.
Good. I
And
can
there's
live with
also
that.
one by my mom's back door
Okay.
that she uses, so they would know
So you respect
going
privacy.
in and out.
I'm going to leave technology because you've talked about one thing that makes this work. The human touch is this is important, but you think it works with the human touch.
Right. We have a philosophy that asks everybody to volunteer in some capacity, including the members themselves. And so we're trying to blur the distinction between the caregivers and the care recipients. So Amy's mom also volunteers by visiting other individuals who
I
need
bet she
some
loves
service.
that.
She does.
Is that how you deal with isolation? Because if you're in your own home, you can feel very isolated.
Absolutely, and then that has a whole series of
Right, so
consequences.
volunteerism is
So
important.
volunteerism is important, and we have wonderful volunteers that come in and spend some time with Amy's mom.
Wonderful.
Every week. Very, very dedicated people.
And people have questioned whether this program could work with a lot of volunteers involved. But if you give volunteers important work to do that is critical,
And they know it's meaningful.
then they are very reliable. We've had volunteers that call the individuals they're required to call from their hospital bed between
my.
IV infusions, because this
Right.
is their job.
This is their job.
This is serious.
I'm gonna
Volunteers
give you
who
a
will
chance
call me
to
at
say
school.
something about how important this is to you and your mom.
First of all, my mom gets to stay in her home, which is what she wanted to do.
Exactly.
She's safe, but she's happy, which I've already said. But it has dramatically changed our lives. My husband and I, we feel like we have a support network around us. I feel that if I am at work and I need somebody to go see mom, it's just a phone call away. I have a whole team of people that I can call, volunteers or Full Circle America, and they'll be there.
What
They'll
an
be there.
extraordinary concept. You want to know more? Call Spectrum Generations. Thank you so much for joining us on Mature Lifestyle.
Thank you.
Mature Lifestyle is made possible by Hollywood Casino. There's no place like Hollywood. And by Knowlton Hewins Roberts Funeral Homes and Cremation Service. Our homes are warm and welcoming, and we take care of you and your family like we would our own. Call us anytime. We are here for you.
You're watching TWC TV, only on Time Warner Cable.